All right. Welcome to the Foundational Infrastructure Working Group meeting for the 27th of March, 2025. Um, Before we get to PRs, just wanted to make a note for anybody watching the recordings. The last two meetings seems like the recordings got cut off. That's not true. The whole meeting was cut off due to time zone changes and this meeting getting shut down. So you didn't miss anything. Everybody missed something. Um, And then maybe before we get into PRs, brief talk about Noble. I think Noble's ready? Question mark. I'm
There
pretty
is now the fix about the missing metrics, and this is now this has to be validated by CF deployment folks. They are working on it to validate the fix because the fix is only available as dev release. They need first validation from CF deployment side, and if this is fixing the issue, they will produce a release
okay.
of Garden.
Okay, so just waiting for that to get promoted to main branch, basically. All right. Well, let's look at PRs then. Oh, this is hopefully the last that last open issue from the issue list for Noble. I went through and checked all the Bosch DNS properties, basically deployed one to Noble and one to Jammy, and then just tried all the features in the spec properties to see which ones don't work. And it seems like they all work now, that you would expect. Obviously, if you disable recursors, adding extra recursors doesn't do anything. But yeah, so this one was just to update the spec properties to be a little bit more clear that like when you should flip these and what exactly the intended purpose of them is. I guess tags probably don't work as intended, just because all the traffic isn't coming to Bosch DNS. So um, override name server is disabled and configure is enabled under Noble. Bosch DNS will not receive all DNS traffic, so only Bosch DNS queries will be logged. So, you're obviously, if you're trying to log all the stuff via Bosch DNS, your tagging's not going to tag the stuff that doesn't go there. But other than that, it seems like everything pretty much works the same between the two.
Has these properties, are they configured correctly in the runtime config in Bosch deployment?
Yes. Yeah, they've been set there since we did this work last year.
Yeah, okay. So this is just
This is
documenting
just, yeah, updating. I was just going through here and I'm like, this wasn't really clear. Who wrote this? And it was me. But yeah, clearing up the fact that these are sort of Noble specific intended things, although you could, disable recursors any other time if you wanted to break everything, I guess. But yeah, just wanted to bring that here. And then I think we can close this
And
one.
is there anything to be updated on the DNS page on Bosch Docs Bosch.io?
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, probably. I'll take a look at that today or tomorrow and do another PR. And then maybe we close this issue after that. Yeah, because there is probably,
Yeah.
I don't know what's there. Bosch DNS.
I think the recursors are not all of these features are documented there, but recursors, for example, most probably,
Yeah,
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 the
yeah, yeah,
text,
yeah.
logging text, okay, logging texts are also documented.
So yeah, so all this probably needs a Noble pass at it. I'll try to take a look at that and then we can close this issue out.
Do we want to comment on that issue? Something that we don't forget?
Yeah. Why would you not load the most recent stuff? That seems crazy.
Before years, this Bosch DNS page was my favorite page.
There's still great stuff there. I go there about once a week or so when I want to test Bosch DNS. And I
Yeah.
forget the query syntax to like
Yes.
the Q
I need
dash
a cheat
S4
sheet.
startup boss. Just give me everything, Bostines.
I, I I have to look that up so many times. I need a cheat sheet, like at this point, like just print it and paste it to my monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like Chris already reviewed this, and most wanted to talk about it just to bring up that it might be the last thing before closing that issue. So I'm just going to merge. I'm going to try to merge. I'm going to refresh the page. Let's look at the AWS side of the tagging first. Looks like it's got some reviews now. Ready to merge. 26 minutes ago, just in time. Stem cell method. Yeah, I think we talked about this last week, and there was just a little bit of cleanup left. All right. And then the other half of that, Bosch side, where is this? Ready to merge. Right, there was just some,
Last time only Ahmed had some comments. I think he now
yeah. And it looks like Felix just had a couple spacing things that have been resolved. So I was wondering if he needed additional stuff, but it seems like it's all good now. All right. CPI v4 coming up soon. Saw some activity on this morning about the href blob stuff.
once when you open that door.
You're right. Going double digits soon.
Yeah.
All right. So they made some changes to it. Looks like it's still pending review though, right, Ruben?
Oh yeah, I just commented. I didn't
Yeah.
look at reviewing it yet. This was something that came in through my email, and it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
comment there as well.
All right. Might harass some of our people since, although it was just changed, it's been sitting around for a little bit. Remove outdated docs. This is still waiting for reviews, not majorly urgent. Just some lies in the docs. Ah, this seems relevant. The CPI v3 stuff. So we have an overview page for each version, which is a little bit surprising, but the way that it's structured currently.
So we need a search for field to filter through all the versions of the CPI.
All right. Yeah, we can leave that. That's already waiting on review. Yeah, I got reviewers assigned. Not big, but we might as well wait until we cut the I mean, it doesn't really matter. This could be a document before it's, well, actually, does this mention the Bosch director version? Probably not. We'll probably want to add that.
Yeah, maybe leave a note.
Yeah. And assume roll stuff. Still waiting on reviews. We looked at that last week. Everybody's been busy apparently. Similar for extracting Bosch templates. They did that. Ramon already reviewed it. Guessing we can merge this. Oh yeah, these were Terraform changes. Add another review for good measure. And IPv6 stuff that we talked about last week. What did we say? Wait for the Bosch side. Yeah, that's fair. All right. And one new one. Apparently this is our release. Windows Utilities release. Remove unneeded global rand.seed logic. I'm willing to trust Amelia on anything she says about Go versioning. So, especially since it's only test stuff, I'm guessing Amelia was just grepping all of the Cloud Foundry for usages of this.
Yeah, she also recently created a document with all the breaking changes in the coming or the latest version of Go. That probably happened as part of that.
I mentioned this briefly at the TOC this week, but we did finally cut a Windows stem cell. It seems that the new Windows stem cell has a behavior change, which is very confusing. Because so Go made a change back in 2022 to use when you ask for a tempter to if you're to call a different syscall than it used to call. So the 2022 change made it so it called a more secure one, so that if you're running as a system process, rather than giving you whatever your temp environment variable is set to, it will give you C:\Windows system temp instead. That was changed back in 2022. The Windows update from this month, suddenly implemented this behavior, which is very confusing timeline-wise. Why this was PR'd into Golang multiple years ago and why suddenly its behavior actually started working in Windows this week. That broke some of our pipelines. Speculatively, it doesn't sound like it's going to affect Diego or anything, but it's possible. We don't think Diego does a better job of containerizing than Concourse. Well, it does an actual job of containerizing versus Concourse doing basically nothing. And one would assume that under Diego, application workloads aren't running as system processes. So worst case, Diego maybe is making a tempter and then it's going to be on the wrong disk and fill up if it's doing something big, but that should be caught in tests, one would assume. But yeah, so it doesn't seem like it'll be a huge issue. We were able to work around it by setting a different environment variable. We can set system temp environment variable, and then it will respect that allegedly. No, we actually saw the pipelines use that. So that is the fun stuff. This was something I meant to talk about last week because I put it there and then I forgot. Oh, yes. Back in November, we changed the stem cell builder so that we could restore the apt sources. We used the snapshot one, so the consistent builds, and then we decided we wanted to restore those right before the image build is done, so that like if you actually go onto a stem cell and apt update something, you're getting the latest stuff, not the stuff from a point in time. Yeah, it turns out we did that after the image was cut, which is not a good phase to try to change the stem cell. So it has not been fixed for the last 4 months, despite the fact that we thought it was. We only saw this because we had a build failure in one of our builds using a stem cell that was trying to pull an apt package, and we saw it was using the snapshot one. I'm like, that's not supposed to be there anymore. So luckily we spotted it, but yeah, that should be fixed now again. I was going to talk last week about how the release pipelines work. I think Ahmed wanted to hear about that. You could watch the video. I could do it now, but we can just put that off to next week or so. I don't think there's any urgency in that. Although I am going to do one thing, which is related to that. Since we did just merge the PR to bump the CPI, Bosch director, I'm going to pause the automatically release because we'd like to bump a major and not a patch, which is what this always does if we're going to include a new CPI version in it. So this is the one problem with the automatic releasing is that we often cut patches when we should be cutting majors. Promotions. Nobody gets promoted. Sorry. Next year. And issues. See what's changed in the last couple of weeks. Not that. That is almost done though. This two seem like they're new-ish since I don't think we got to them last week. Bosch create disk. Oh yeah, we talked about, yeah. Oh no, we did do that last week.
Yeah, I just was entering this comment and talking, and I saw, okay, no one is here anymore. The meeting was
and
done.
this was me from 12 minutes ago. I have a good memory. So Ruben,
Yeah, I fixed this.
you fixed it?
Yeah, I added a retry. So yes, this was not the problem, like getting rid of it, like because this workaround of this is like just, I mean, it's just triggering the DNS message to be sent to the agent, and the agent shouldn't be running right between deleting and creating a container.
Right.
So what I found is that like it comes up, and it fails, but if you SSH into the created container, the directory is there. So it's like it feels like a race condition. So I just added a retry, and then like a retry on like creating that or injecting that file, and then it worked. It basically works on my machine. I have a local commit somewhere in my file system that fixes this. So at some point I will be pushing that.
I do love race
But
conditions.
I first want to give it some more testing, as in like I'm currently using it in an environment, or many environments actually. So
Make sure they don't blow up.
yes, that's
Now,
like,
the
but I
question,
haven't resurfaced. So also I forgot about it naturally.
but also, do these environments still have the loop running on the Bosch director, constantly calling sync DNS?
No, I disabled that.
Okay, okay.
So
That
I
makes your
disabled
test
that.
more valid.
Yes. Yeah, I'm doing both. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's all being tested together. It's all like really brittle. But if you put all my patches in, then it works quite well. So at some point I will be committing those.
All right, that sounds good. Anybody have anything else? All right. Well, small meeting. Thanks for coming. See you next week.